Okay. So this first page, we're going to leave the bottom of this blank on purpose. We are going to come back to that. All right, let's go ahead and turn to page 2, y'all. On page 2, we're going to start figuring out what they did when they worked in teams. So again, Evelyn cleaned the house in 6 hours. That's her rate. And then we have a rate of 12 hours. And then we're going to figure out how long it took them together. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, they have a goal. What was their goal? What was their task? To clean the house, really to get their mom off their back. They had one goal. One goal, one mom off their back. All right. So they worked together. But like, what are we looking for? You got to find a question mark and read the question. So how long did it take them? What measurement is how long? How do you time? So time is what we're looking for. And they worked together. So time together is going to be the variable t. So if you like to number your stuff, I'm going to put a number 1 next to that. Define your variable. Okay. Step 2 is to set up the problem. Who worked on day 4? Evelyn and Sean. So whatever time Evelyn put in, her rate is 6 hours. This is going to be her little contribution. Then remember, she worked with Sean. So whatever Sean's time put in over his rate, that's his little contribution. So Evelyn's part plus Sean's part equals 1 goal achieved, 1 mom off their back, 1 house clean, whatever. So now step 3 is to solve. And remember, I get to write the word solve when I see an equal sign. And I love equal signs because I get to get rid of fraction bars altogether. And the way that we get rid of the fraction bar is we find the LCD. All right, so let's look below the fraction bar. We don't have any letters, y'all, so it's just the LCM. What's the least common multiple of 6 and 12? That's right. So I'm going to multiply the whole entire thing by 12. And on my next line of work, if I have a fraction bar, I did it wrong. Fraction bars are going away. All right, so here we go. Let's solve this. I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. I'm going to show all of this work on this example, then I'm going to shorten what I'm showing because we can do this in our head. All right, so when I take this 12 and I distribute it to that first fraction, that's going to be 12t over 6 plus. And then I'm going to take that 12 and distribute it to the second fraction, and that's going to be 12t over 12. And then don't forget, we do, excuse me, we do have to distribute to the other side. I used to always forget this when I was your age. So remember, it doesn't equal 1, it equals just 12. And that's the last time I'm showing this. Y'all should be able to do this in your head. Y'all, what's 12 divided by 6? That's just a 2t. What's 12 divided by 12? What is this? That's a t. Good. So 2t plus t. Y'all, look how elementary this turns into. Some of you guys probably already know the answer. How long do they work on it together? Yep. So listen, it is a word problem. Your answer has to be in words. I'm going to write so sloppy and like so short, like it's going to be fragments, like the ELA teachers would hate me, but I'm not an ELA teacher, so I get to do that. All right, so it took Ev and Sean for this right here. How long did it take? What is that a measurement of? So T again. But are they going to have the same amount of time? No, they're not. So let's let regular T be Sean. What's going to be Tommy?
T plus 2.
T plus 2? Yeah, T minus 2. So if Sean worked 20 hours, Tommy worked 18. If Sean worked 30 hours, Tommy would do 28. So yeah, that makes sense because he started 2 hours later. Okay, so remember, their individual contribution is their time over their rate. So that's Sean's part. Now I'm going to write Tommy's part. Do y'all know what the fraction is for Tommy? Over 8, yes. And that's going to equal 1 clean house. All right, let's solve. How do you solve a rational equation? You always multiply by what? LCD. If you're solving a rational equation and you have fraction bars in your work, you messed up. So there's no variables, just the LCM. Y'all, what's the LCM of 12 and 8? What is it? Yes, yes, yes. All right, so we're going to multiply everything by 24. Okay, so 24 divided by 12 is 2. So my first term is 2t plus, however, y'all, what's 24 divided by 8? Yeah, so that 3 is going to be distributed at t minus 2. You got to put that in parentheses. So 24 divided by 8 is 3, but you got to put that other piece in parentheses. And then the other side's 24. And then y'all just solve. Distribute the 3 and solve for the letter T. So I get T, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Looks like T is going to be 6. What does that mean? Say what?
6 hours in the house.
For who?
For
For Sean. But not Tommy. He skated. How long did Tommy work? 4 hours. So Sean worked 6 hours. Tom worked 4 hours. You know what? This was like the last test question that I was working on, and I still have like 10 minutes. So I'm going to check it. Let me show you guys how to check it in case you want to check on a test or a quiz. So easy. You just plug in the letter T. So we got T to be a 6. So I'm going to plug in 6 right here. So when I check it, it's going to be 6 over 12 plus, that was a 4 over 8. Y'all, what is 6 over 12 simplified to? And that's a half. What's a half plus a half? A whole. I feel pretty confident that I got this test question right. So you can plug in and check. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the next page. Yep. All right. So I just made them all clean because they were complaining that other people weren't working. So I just made them all clean at the same time. So they all started at the same time. They did not finish until it was done. So the time for them is going to be the same. So T is going to be time together. Order. I'm going to write Evelyn first because she's listed first. So Evelyn over 6. Now I'm going to write Tom. What am I going to write for Tom? T over 8, right? And then what's going to be the last piece? T over 12. What is it always equal to? Always equal to 1. Okay, let's get rid of the fractions. No variables in the denominator, so it's just the LCM. What's the LCM of 6, 8, and 12? It's still 24. So guys, multiply everything by 24 and then just simplify each piece. All right, so we don't get a whole number this time. So when we solve for t, we get 24/9 hours. I have no idea what that is. So we are going to change it to a mixed number. So that's going to be 2 and what? What does that simplify to? 2 and 6/9, which is 2 2/3. So when they worked together, it took them 2 2/3 hours. But y'all, we don't talk like that. So the fractional part, you need to convert to minutes. How much is 2/3 of an hour in minutes? It's 40 minutes. So they worked together for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Y'all got any questions on this? And then again, I realized, like, why am I helping this kid when I can go do other stuff? So I helped him for an hour and then he just did the rest on his own. So we're going to figure out how long it took him. All right, so find your question mark because that always defines the variable. How long did it take Sean to finish? So time is going to be just Sean. We didn't really do it together. My time is different than his. You know my time. What's the time for me? So here's me plus Sean. He's 12 hours. And that's going to equal 1 clean house. Y'all, look at me. How much of the house did I clean? 1/3. I cleaned 1/3. I'm already helping him out. How much is he going to have to clean on his own? If 1/3 is clean, how much is dirty? 2/3. So he's responsible for just 2/3 of the house. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, like you could write 2/12 equals 2/3 because that was his part. I'm just going to go ahead and multiply by the LCM. So I'm going to multiply by 12 here. So we're going to be doing 12 divided by 3, which is just a 4. And then this second piece is just going to turn into the letter T. That's like a grade school elementary equation. How many hours did Sean work? How many hours did he have to work alone? 7. Remember, I worked the first hour with him. So Sean worked 8 hours and 7 hours was by himself. Oh, sorry. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, that's page 5. All right, page 6 changes. Before we go to page 6, guys, look through all of the equations that we worked. There's page 3, page 2. Y'all, what did we always set them equal to? 1. We always set them equal to 1. And then what do you notice about each of these fractions? What's going on with this? They're always added together. They all have a t. Where is the t? On top, on bottom? The t is on the top. What's on the bottom? A whole number, or like their rate if they did it by themselves. So if you will please go back to page 1, this is the format for work problems. First of all, they always equal 1. One job, one task, one thing to do, one mom to get off their back. And it is always T over R. It could be plus or minus. It's always that setup though. And what you need to remember, this T over R, that is an individual contribution. So that person gave that much effort of completion. This person gave that effort of completion.